arrest the one black dude on the train because this white woman said she didn't like the way I was sitting on the train. So you call the police. You call the police to arrest the one black dude on the train.
That man being arrested is Alex O'Keefe. He's an award-winning television writer. His crime? On the Metro North train from New York City to Connecticut, sitting while black.
I haven't done anything illegal.
Let's go.
I haven't done anything illegal. I haven't done anything illegal.
O'Keefe posted this video on Instagram and wrote, "I was arrested on the MTA train to Connecticut today, pulled off, handcuffed, and detained. An old white woman got on the train and immediately pointed at me and told me to correct how I was sitting. The conductor called the police and stopped the train."
I am sitting on a train and one white woman didn't like my presence. Resisting what? Resisting what? What are you trying to arrest me for? I was sitting on a train. I was sitting on a train and you're trying to arrest me for what? Can I not even know what you're trying to arrest me for? Because a white woman, this white woman, resisting what? Am I being arrested?
When I first saw this video of Alex O'Keefe, the award-winning writer behind the television series The Bear, being pulled off of a Metro North train simply because a white woman didn't like the way he was sitting, I felt my blood boil. This isn't a minor incident. It's a fresh example of what too many African Americans endure every day: humiliation, dehumanization, and injustice masked as complaints. Let me get this straight. A man is lawfully riding a train, doing nothing illegal, being reported not for his words, not for violence, not for assault, but simply because of how he appeared in his seat. And before any question is asked of the accuser, before any meaningful inquiry, law enforcement is called, a complaint lodged, a train stopped, and a black man handcuffed. That's not public safety, that's racial profiling. We hear cries about disturbing the peace and refusing to cooperate. But ask yourselves, how often do we see police leap to arrest the black person before even talking to the person who initiated the complaint? How often do we see a black person's version of events discounted while the assumptions of a white accuser are treated as self-evident truth?
Let's go.
I haven't done anything illegal. I haven't done anything illegal. I am sitting on a train and one white woman didn't like my presence.
This is not rare. This is not an isolated oddity. It's systemic. And letting it slide is dangerous. We tell ourselves we live in a society with equal rights, with justice, with fairness. But when someone can be hauled off of a train because they have the wrong race in the eyes of somebody else, we know we have work to do. The Metropolitan Transit Authority must be held to account. The law enforcement officers involved must be questioned transparently, step by step. Why was no statement taken from the woman who complained? Why was the man not presumed innocent? Why was the force of arrest used when apparently there was no crime? And it's not just institutional. Each one of us has a responsibility. When we see incidents like this, we must speak out. We must pressure for policy changes, including rules that require corroboration before arrest, protection against false complaints, real oversight, and mandatory bias training that is not just checkbox theater. Because unless we move beyond shock posts on social media, unless we move beyond "oh, that's awful" hashtags, unless we demand justice, nothing will change. And until change happens, the presumption of suspicion will keep falling on black people, on the one black man on the train, and on every black person who dares to live, to move, to sit, to breathe. Yes, under Donald Trump, this country is growing more psychotic by the day. Psychotic in its casual disregard for the dignity and rights of black citizens and Latinos and other minorities. But we, the press, the public, the officials, we have a choice. We can let this kind of injustice fade into another headline, or we can wrench this moment into change. So let's not let Alex O'Keefe's story be just another viral outrage. Let's make it a turning point, for God's sakes. By the way, Donald Trump's trade war is now backfiring on a lot of U.S. farmers.
Of the soybeans that American farmers produce, 25% currently have been going to China. And right now, we have zero sold for this crop that's starting to be harvested right now. So it's a five-alarm fire for our industry that 25% of our total sales is currently missing. Right now, we are not price competitive with Brazil due to the retaliatory tariffs that are in place. Our prices are about 20% higher, and that means that the Chinese are going elsewhere because they can find a better value.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular was from Ed, who wrote, 5 bankruptcies, cheated on every wife, cheated on taxes, convicted on 32 counts of fraud, but they thought he'd be a good president. No sympathy. I hear you. I look forward to reading your comments about the institutional racism in our society that just played out on a train to Connecticut. I'm David Schuster. Thanks for joining us.